we can change whether we show the editor or not based on this flag. So we need to change it. So how can we change it? Well, we can change it in the table. We go to a table. Basically, what we want to be able to do is have these to be kind of like hyperlinks. And if you click on the hyperlink, you want to be able to navigate to the editor. Yes. So let's create these titles. Instead of just being title, we'll create them and make them hyperlinks. Okay, so they're hyperlinks. There we go. Right now they're not doing anything. Okay. So what we'll do is that we'll need to notify our parent that we want to show the editor. Right. So basically, what we'll do here is perhaps provide a function here that says show editor, and the show editor is just going to blindly change, set state. It's going to blindly set that state of show editor to true. When I say blindly, is that I don't care what the previous state was. I'm just going to turn that to true. Whatever happens. Notice that, and the reason I point that out is that, last time we met, when we use set state, we use this more sophisticated syntax, right? Where we call set state with a function. We're calling here set state with a callback function, right? The function is being passes us the previous state, meaning, if you have a finite state machine, it tells you what state you're in. And together with the event, you can tell where you should transition. And the way you transition is you return the new state, and you can calculate that state. Make sense? So if your next state depends on your previous state, then you need to use this syntax. It's good practice, right? If your state does not depend on the previous state, then you don't need to use this sophisticated syntax, right? So if I don't care about the previous state, I can use this simplified syntax, right? I just pass an object and of telling it what I want what state variable to be. I'm saying here that show editor is equal to true, regardless of where you are, what state you're in. I don't care. Make it true. So obviously this is it's a simplified syntax, right? It's a simpler syntax. I wish we could do this like this all the time, but you can't, right? If you depend, you should use this syntax. All right, so basically what I need to do now is pass this show editor down to the table, down to the row, all the way down to the row, right? So let's pass it as an argument. There it is. I'm passing a link to it, a reference. So down in the course table, I can call that in this hyperlink. I can say on click, I can call this new function that you're passing me. I can just call it right here. Right? So let's see if that works. If I refresh and I click on course, notice that it navigates to the course editor. Right? Now we're in the course editor. Now we need to kind of like go back. How do we go back? We need to be able to change the state of the show editor back to false, right? And we're going to do that from the course editors. Let's do that. So we have a mechanism to be able to navigate from the course list, right, to the course editor. So we like to be able to go back, right? Unfortunately, the back button doesn't work, right? We'll add that next week, right, with the course navigation. What we're doing here is a poor man's implementation of a navigation mechanism, right? And on top of this idea, the course navigation mechanism that we'll see next week is built on these ideas we're looking at right now, right? So we'd like to be able to do maybe have maybe a close button here, which I close the button and then it allows me to go back. So let's do that. Let's create a close button in the course editor, right? So maybe over here we can add a button that says close. Okay, where if I click on the close, I like to close this and go back to the list of courses, right? So to do that, what we need to do is just like we had a show editor, we need a one that hides the editor, right? Maybe hide editor, which basically does a false here. Now notice that I could have done like we did on the toggle. We could have said toggle editor, right? We could have done toggle editor and just remember the previous one and nulled it. So change this into false. I mean, my point was that I could have written a toggle implementation, but then it wouldn't have given me a chance to talk about this this mechanism of just being able to change the state without needing the previous state. Okay, if I change this to a toggle, then I would have to rewrite it using the knowing the previous state syntax, right? Anyway, so hide editor. I'm going to hide it from where? From the editor. On the editor, I'm going to pass down a reference to this function, right? So that from within the editor, I can call it here. I can grab the argument of the hide editor and then call it here on click. Right? So that if I go back here and I navigate, I can now go back between the two, right, and navigate between the two elements, components. That make sense? All right.